Romney would be the natural candidate of the Republican establishment, but the Tea Party doesn't accept him. So what's going on in the Republican Party?
At some level, it's two things going on. If we look at the Tea Party, it's the John McCain voter rebranded. And if we look into the biographies of many of the Tea Party activists, they have been active in conservative causes for a long time. So to some degree, it's rebranding of a certain demographic, which is older, which is whiter, and more southern and western. But at the same level, it's also a rejection of the Bush years, of deficit spending, of foreign wars, of the expansion of government programs like Medicare and Medicaid. And that reflects not only this social movement, it reflects the influence of Fox News, which is promoting a more extreme version of a radical right-wing politics, and the influence of the Koch brothers, but also Dick Armey's Freedom Works, major corporate backers for extreme right-wing positions on social programs, on immigration, on civil liberties, and the war on terror, globally speaking. But in a sense, it's also a revolt by an older, whiter America against what they perceive to be handout America. Minorities, immigrants, but especially young people. So there's a generational conflict going on here, and that's expressing itself.
Now there are two social movements, the Tea Party and Occupy Wall Street. What is their influence in this election?
I think as a consequence of, A, Obama's election, but also this long recession, we have seen the emergence of two major social movements on the extreme right and on the center to extreme left, which is, of course, the Tea Party, which is a very complicated thing to analyze, and then now Occupy Wall Street, or Occupy Everywhere, which has become a social mobilization among the disgruntled, disenchanted Obama-way voters. What Occupy Wall Street has succeeded in doing is putting the question of income inequality and inequality of wealth, the question of oligarchical politics, the issue that the United States now in many ways has more social inequality than Brazil.
Yes, it does.
That it is the most unequal of all the developed societies, and in some ways more unequal than countries in West Africa. So they've managed to put that on the table, and to that degree undo the austerity discourse of deficits, debt, etc., which has been kind of like the dominant narrative in the U.S. media after the 2010 election. And a discourse that Obama signed on to and has now been given a space to distance himself from. So we are looking at a classic kind of right-left confrontation in American politics. We're not used to that. So the people who are in trouble are the guys who are trying to operate in the middle, the center. So that would be Romney and Bonner on the Republican side, and that's Obama on the Democratic side.
What would a new Republican administration mean for Latin America?
I think it would mean renewed American assertiveness. I would be worried if I was Hugo Chavez. I think a lot of American activism mainly oriented in the Caribbean and Central America. God knows what it means for Mexico. I mean, I think America's ambitions are more limited than they were 40 or 50 years ago. 40 or 50 years ago, we meant to control the whole enchilada from the Rio Grande right down to Tierra del Fuego. I think there's a recognition that there's a new power pole that has emerged around Mercosur and around Brazil, specifically in the Southern Cone countries. But Colombia, Venezuela, Peru, Ecuador, Central America, Mexico, the Caribbean islands, all of those are still areas where America can make its influence felt militarily, if not in other terms. So, you know, American influence makes itself felt through military operations. We are now into the 4th year of this American Great Recession. We also begun to recognize, as a consequence of the recession, how badly hurt the American middle class and working class has been. So we now know for a fact that over 50 million Americans are officially poor, and another 100 million are within 200% of the official poverty budget. So that's half the population that's either poor or nearly poor.
How can Obama win this?
Well, he can hope and pray that the Republicans will continue to tear themselves apart. The Republican Party has moved very far to the right, and a lot of things have been said that will upset independent voters. So those are the people that, you know, Obama's strategists want to talk to. They don't really want to talk to Occupy Wall Street, though they have made some gestures that way. They want to talk to independent voters in a way that doesn't scare the white folks. And fortunately, we've got people like, you know, Santorum and Newt Gingrich, who are doing a great job of scaring those very same people. The other thing that has to happen is something he has to hope for some kind of improvement on the unemployment numbers. And the Republicans, of course, are doing a manful job of making sure the government can do as little as possible. We're going to be into another hostage situation in February over the payroll tax cut or over long-term unemployment benefits. You know, the Tea Party would like to see both of those things fail. So I think we will remain a great power, but not the power that we were, and a power that has to learn how to cooperate with others. So we have seen a lot of that, at least in the public, from the Obama administration. But at the same time, we have seen him pursue another presidential war using the Joint Special Operations Command, which is 60,000 commandos, Navy SEALs, CIA, all mixed together, pursuing kill and capture programs in 20 different countries. So, you know, the most important complex within the American governmental system is the military-industrial complex. So we're a very conservative country. It's very hard for us to change. And we'll probably see that as the outcome of this election. The difference between an Obama or Romney administration will not be as great as anyone would hope for.